corn that you can't just eat like this off the cob. It's the kind of corn that has to get processed into all sorts of things like sugar, corn syrup. It's processed into animal feed. Nothing that we grow here is the same as what's grown on most farms. That wasn't a very good way of saying it, but basically this is a really different kind of agriculture than most of what we have in the U.S.
Marra Farms reminded me how much I enjoyed working on farms and working in a garden, and it really got me thinking about volunteering here or starting up a garden at my house. I liked it.
I think the Marra Farm is a good place, and I had a good time here volunteering and helping out on the farm.
Stuff, we're not paying farmers enough. We don't pay farm workers enough, so most of the food that's grown is harvested and all of the work is done by farm workers, many of which are undocumented immigrants who come and work in really awful labor conditions that I've definitely never experienced, but they're the people that are growing our food, and then we're creating these wars against people without proper documentation and calling them illegals and all of this really bad stuff that is wrapped up in our food system. But the good part is that there are ways that we can fight back and that we can really take back our food system, and it's so great that you guys are focusing on food justice, because that is it's definitely my passion.
That this farm was here for over 100 years, and one thing that I liked about this farm was that they have a lot of fruits and vegetables growing here, So yeah, that was pretty cool.
In the U.S. we have really high levels of diabetes from eating a lot of sugar, really high levels of obesity, higher than any other country in the world, and heart disease, and a lot of these diet-related diseases that are really a result of how people are eating earlier in life. And a lot of that is a result of if you don't have a lot of money and you need to feed your family or feed yourself, and the options are unhealthy, that's what you're going to eat, because that's what you've got. So this is a project that's trying to intervene in that and make fresh vegetables, organic vegetables, accessible to people who might not otherwise have the money to afford them. So it's about providing that service, and then it's also about educating and creating conversation around these topics, which are so crucial, that people know that the way that we're paying farmers to grow food in our country is not how we should be growing food.